Hey lovelies, it's Stephanie. Welcome to my craft room. This is going to be a super casual kind of quick video. Basically, I'm gonna pretend like you are here in my craft room with me, and I'm gonna show off my little cabinet right here and show you the different ways that I store all of my resin molds and mixes and supplies and all that stuff. So hopefully that kind of helps you out if you also have a bunch of resin supplies and materials and aren't quite sure what to do with them. All right, so I'm going to show off this entertainment center cabinet, TV cabinet, whatever you want to call it. I've had this for about a dozen years. It's been in a much smaller house with me, and now where I have a larger craft space, and I still use it and love it. So that's something you might want to consider too if you're looking to have stuff all closed up, is look for one of these little entertainment centers with the doors, and then you can paint it if you want. I obviously painted this yellow, and it's held up great. Let's look inside. Okay, so this large area right here obviously is where a TV used to go, you know, when they were nice and boxy. And then this shelf was up here. They're kind of adjustable, and so I've set this one here. And then I'll show you in a second for the different view of the camera. There's this shelf here and a couple of compartments underneath that used to have shelves, and I took that out so I had more space. So one thing I really like about this is where I keep my printer. And it's a great place to just kind of keep it out of the way. And I have extra paper here. I keep printer paper and cardstock. And then this is another one of my favorite storage spots. And I do keep some of my resin stuff right here. I have stamp pads and alcohol ink, glitter, and then here's where I keep all my little baggies and containers of mica powder. Those are all things that I will use when coloring resin. So down here is where I keep all of my liquid resin components. So I have this basket right here, and I like having things in a basket like this for a couple of reasons. One, I can pull things out and not have to be digging for things in the very back. And also, if the bottles get a little bit sticky or anything drips, it's caught in this basket instead of being stuck down to this bottom here and making a bigger mess. So I have this smaller tray. This is where I've got these little bottles of UV resin. These come in smaller bottles because you usually just use a small amount at one time. It's great for making jewelry. I use it to put a shiny coat on the polymer clay earrings that I make, and then it gets cured either by daylight or by a UV lamp like you might use with nails, or you can buy one specifically marketed for resin. And then in the same little tray here, I have some sprays. I have a gloss spray, and farther in the back, mold release spray. Okay, and then for the space that's a little more behind me, I have some more resin stuff. And then in this section here, I have some more resin stuff. And then in this section here, I have some more resin stuff. I have this 2-piece bubble remover. So basically it's like a little vacuum sealer, and you can put a cup of mixed resin in there, put on the top, plug it in, and it helps pull the bubbles out of the mixture so you get a more clear finished result with your resin. Another thing I have back here is something called a resin dryer. Okay, so it looks a little bit like a little baby microwave, but it's not. It's just this enclosed acrylic box. There's a small heating element up here in the top. And so what this has been really helpful is if I'm doing like an epoxy tumbler that's all, you know, covered in glitter and stuff like that, I can put the tumbler spinner like inside here, and then this just keeps it like warmer than room temperature, which just speeds up the curing process. And so it's not technically a dryer, like it's drying out the resin. It's just giving it a warm environment so that that chemical reaction can occur a little bit quicker. And another thing I keep right here in this space is this Hydrocast kit. This is actually something that I haven't used yet. Somehow it ended up in my buy now cart, and I just haven't pulled it out to make something with it yet. But I have space for it. So it can just tuck right in here, along with the coloring dyes for those materials. Okay, So this is all my resin coloring stuff and mixing stuff. And I've got 2 more places where I store some resin supplies. If I wanted to move things around, I could move it all over into here, but that would mean moving out some of the like presses and paper and stuff that I have in this cabinet. But I'm going to show you where I keep all of my stir sticks and cups, and then all the different kinds of silicone molds that I have for resin. Okay, I admit to kind of having a harder time finding a good place to put the camera so I can show you what I've got here, but I'm just sitting on the floor. My cat is currently in the box that I'm going to show you, so I'm gonna have to kick her out. Oh, there's Stella. Oh, there's the kitty. Okay. Come on. Out you go. Okay, so this is a big giant bin from IKEA. It comes with a lid that I have a bunch of stuff piled on, so I'll show you the lid in a second. But look, I still have the label on the back, and it is called Kuggis, Kuggis. I'm pretty sure they still have these. They have them in a bunch of different sizes. I have buckets like this in my laundry room, in my pantry, a few of them in my craft room. They're great because they look really nice and sleek. They're not tapered at the bottom, they're more square, and so it feels like you get a little more storage space in them. And like I said, they come with these nice lids, so you can also stack them. So this big box like this is where I keep all of my resin molds. So let me show you some of those. Most of my molds are these floppy silicone. You can get them from Amazon, from Etsy, from the craft store. So I just stack them all up in this box. It's a cool butterfly mold for making stackable trays. This is a mold I bought to make one of those cute little serving trays that I haven't made yet. This is a mold that I haven't used yet either. It's for making like hanging wind chimes, tea light holders, geode like agate coasters, round coasters. Here's a mold that I made to make some resin guitar picks. I made that out of this mold putty, really easy to work with. And here's another mold builder. I also have a few of these trays, more coasters, some little different shaped knobs and pens. Here's a coaster holder, a bracelet mold, and I've got an alphabet mold with all the letters and numbers on it. Oh, and this little thing too, a little like graduation cap. So that's cute. So then this is how everything looks, just kind of tossed into this bucket. Nothing needs to be really well organized or packed in carefully. The silicone is meant to hold its shape. So, you know, I make sure that nothing's like completely bent in half or creased, but just stacking things up like that is fine. And then here's the lid that goes on it. See, like I said, nice and flat. You could stack another one on top of it. This goes up on top of my tall IKEA shelves. Okay, and then this is my last place where I have resin supplies and tools. It's not very well organized. Maybe that's something I will work on during this week of camp. So you can see here I have a couple of silicone mats that I can put out on my work surface to protect it. I keep gloves in here. This is part of that cup or tumbler turner that I have. And then down in the bottom I have a bunch of stir sticks, and I have little cups and bigger cups. So when I'm ready to mix up resin, I come and grab stuff out of that box right there. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. If you have questions about anything specific that I showed you here, or questions about other resin stuff that I didn't mention, but you need help figuring out how to store it, then let us know. We'll all brainstorm in the Facebook group with you. And if you want to see how I made some of the resin stuff that I showed molds for or something, check out my resin page that's at the top of my website, Crafting in the Rain. Okay, thanks for checking out this super casual bonus video, and happy organizing.